guys all a hint, and I clearly communicated long enough for you guys to hear it because I wanted you to hear it. So then when I referred back to it, I knew that you were going to get it because I intentionally communicated for you to get it. That's my job, to communicate to the person I want to hear me. But I could have done something that was less noticeable and gave fewer cues, and then you wouldn't have heard me. But I would have only done that if I was trying to prove the point that, you know, whatever you say, if somebody's not listening, right? I wanted to prove a positive point, so I made absolutely sure you knew what I said and you were able to repeat it. My job, if that's what I want the outcome to be. That's the power you guys have in communicating. You can decide what it is you want to communicate to somebody, and then put a plan together for how to communicate it effectively. And then, while you're listening, and you can come up with what does the person I'm communicating to need for them to understand, accept, or even listen when I'm talking. That's all your job as the person trying to communicate something. That's your job.
All right.
Right? That's the difference. Steve Jobs.
Stephen Green.
Anybody ever heard him speak or anything like that?
No,
I don't.
I've never heard Steve Jobs.
Yeah, because he like died.
When did Steve Jobs die?
I don't.
I saw him speak.
There was a movie where Ashton Kutcher played him. When?
October 4th, 2011.
October 4th, 2011. Everybody was born. Now,
Dude, I was like,
seen him on old video, whatever.
Same day.
What was he known for?
Snapple.
Apple products.
Snapple.
He was known for communicating the value of Apple products. There's a possibility that without Steve Jobs doing so much communication regarding Apple products, the iPhone wouldn't even be as popular as it is. It wouldn't even be as popular as it is without that spokesperson. And what was he doing? Was he whispering? Was he talking to just two people? Or was he communicating in an effective style to the masses regarding the iPhone, the Mac, the this, the that, all things Apple related? What was he doing? He was talking. It doesn't matter what he helped develop. He was talking. He was only communicating. And even when he communicated, he would a lot of times say, well, we listened. So in this new model, we added this, and this. That's one of the effective ways to sell your product, especially when it's a version 2, 10, 11, whatever version it is to start by saying we listened to your complaints about what was not in the previous model. So he starts by telling everybody, I'm listening to you, and everybody, whether they realize it or not, recognize that when somebody listens to me, they might care about what I said, so I'm going to listen to what they're saying back. So he just used effective strategies for communication. Standing up there on stage talking to the masses that went video viral, that what they stopped time for when he spoke and everything like that. This is the power that you guys have. If you're going to tell me I know but, yeah, but, and then contradict what I'm communicating, you're not doing the simplest technique of acknowledging that you listen. And your response is based on listening. Whether you paraphrase and repeat, speak to something specifically. Instead, if you just go for what you feel, what you know, in what's supposed to be a conversation, that's a clear sign that you're not listening. That's a clear sign that you're not listening. So then when you switch between this topic and that topic and that topic, and they're not even tied together, you're just trying to get out of this discussion and go to this one, it's a clear sign that you're not truly listening. And not tie it back. I absolutely go from this to this, but then I tie it back. Because the straight way to get from how a brake hose could be collapsed and create a problem and cause a vehicle to dive to the right, the straight way to get there is so technical that you have to get all of your brake curriculum done to be able to understand that pathway. So if I take a sidebar to something that you are familiar with and understand, when I bring it back, then you can use this knowledge that you may not have known related to it. So then when I bring it back and we bypass all of this technical, you can still get to the same point of understanding because you're using information that you already had before. Now, that's my job in communication if I want you to get what I'm communicating. So I'm doing exactly what I'm telling you to do. I'm doing exactly what I'm telling you to do. I do it all the time. Do it all the time. Right? I want you to understand something. I go straight forward with it. You're not at that level. It's above your pay grade. You're not going to understand it if I go straight forward. It's just not going to happen. You need so much to be able to understand it if I go straight forward to it. Right? Somebody explains everything about how that just happened. All of the technical stuff. The switch, the contacts, the spring, the wires, the circuits, the splices, the ground safety, the circuit breaker, the bulb itself, each socket in the bulb, the ballast, the resistors. Somebody goes through all of that, it is going to be ridiculously complicated to follow and understand it all. We use how a light switch operates to discuss disabling 200 something volts on a hybrid vehicle. We use a light bulb. We didn't get into the module and how the module operates and all of this other stuff, and we didn't get into all of that. We simply discussed the light switch disabling all of this current that can issue. Right? Because I wanted you guys to understand, and I didn't want to take 3 weeks to get you to understand. So I'm using knowledge that you already have, but then I have to have listened to you guys to have an understanding of what knowledge you might already have. Because if you don't know how to operate a light switch, and I'm talking to you about a light switch and how that's going to do that, well, what am I doing? I'm talking about something you don't understand to try to explain something you don't understand. Now that's my fault if I do that and you still don't understand, because I'm the one trying to communicate with you. I have to do all of that work. So then I say, if you do all of that work, it will give you some modicum of control, a percentage of control, an amount of control, no matter how small it is. What does modicum mean? Modicum. Look it up. Like ICUM, something like that. Look it up. Hang on. Hang on. He used technology. I want to hear it.
Wait, I did it.
No, but he talked into it. I want to hear him make his phone speak.
How come has a name?
Not Monica.
Okay,
What do you want?
a small quantity of a particular thing, especially something considered desirable or valuable.
Did I explain that when I said modicum? Some amount, a portion of control. Did I explain what modicum means when I used the word modicum? Did everybody realize that that was the definition that I was saying when I kept saying the word?
To some degree, yeah.
I do it all the time in order to let it seep in.
Okay.
Did he just throw Shango under the bus? You just throw a brick in him and then say Shango did it.
Ask for like
Jacob.
I didn't say you did it. I said
There's a really tall tree outside. I want to see how far you can climb up it.
Actually,
not
they
very
cut the
far.
tree
It would
down.
be pretty funny if I fell though.
Cut the tree down?
They cut all the trees down over there.
They did.
All right, guys, hey, guys.
Parking lot, there's one's like all in.
Reel it back in, boys.
Guys.
What's
Hello?
up?
Guy.
Monday.